Don't mind the background change, I'll be back on the chalkboard next time. Reviewing a Marvel movie seems basically pointless since everyone's going to see it anyway, but here we are. Captain Marvel is directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, most known for their indie films back in the day. And usually Marvel is really good at picking indie directors and letting them helm their films. However, I think that choice may have done more harm than good in this case. Like a majority of others, I didn't know too much about Captain Marvel prior to seeing the film, so I can't comment on its accuracy to the source material. But on its own, the origin story of Carol Danvers is pretty standard for your comic book hero. For one, she has to learn her abilities as the film goes on. She's not blasting people from the get-go. And judging from the trailers, I was pretty worried about Brie Larson's performance, and unfortunately I was right. Sometimes her humor and delivery feels kind of forced, and I don't think she's fully integrated into the character yet. Without spoilers, you could say considering Carol's circumstances, she's not her full self yet, but I wouldn't use that as an excuse for a partially wooden performance, because even after seeing it, I'm still not sure what her character shtick is. You know, Steve Rogers is the stoic patriot, Tony is the sarcastic genius, but I didn't really get anything from Carol. And it's not that Brie Larson is incapable. Her performance in Room was extremely engaging, but there's not even a sliver of that emotion found here. I mean, she is really powerful though, and a powerful protagonist requires an equally powerful antagonist. We didn't get that, but the Skrulls make for a very deceptive villain. Through them, the film does a really good job at curbing your expectations. Its pacing doesn't feel like any other Marvel movie. In fact, it reminded me most of Man of Steel. For better or worse, I'm not sure, I just kind of feel meh. That's how I feel about this movie in general. At the ending title card, I was just like, hey, that's mildly adequate. The soundtrack suffers from what I call radio syndrome, as in the orchestral score is outshined by the 90s throwback playlist. Although it's quite nice, having a theme to be associated with your hero to me is extremely important. The action is entertaining, of course, however by the finale, when she's basically at max level, all the tension is lost. At that point, you're just watching her wreck shit, which in and of itself is pretty hype, but I just wish it was longer, because all the signs point to Captain Marvel being the most powerful hero introduced into the MCU thus far. That said, they should have driven that further in the finale, but I felt pretty high and dry. Samuel L. Jackson is obviously great, the Skrulls look super rad, the VFX are clean, especially the de-aging on Samuel L. Jackson. The humor, when timed correctly, is really funny. Also, Goose the cat is adorable. But that's all to be expected at this point, not commended. And there's one reveal of how this certain thing happened, and it's ridiculous. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. For me personally, I find Captain Marvel in the same bin as Venom and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Is Captain Marvel better than those two movies? Venom definitely, Ant-Man not really, but basically what I'm saying is I'm gonna keep forgetting it came out this year. That said, Captain Marvel is definitely worth seeing opening weekend, but I don't feel the need to see it again afterwards. No matter what your agenda is or whatever, it doesn't excuse this film from the fact that it could have been so much better. All that said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, dislike if you didn't, and I'll see you next time.